Everyone wants to be a millionaire so freaking bad. Remember that song? Well, today we're going to be going over my plan to become a millionaire, and you can either take what I'm talking about and apply it to yourself, or you can criticize it and let me know in the comments how dumb my plan is. Alright, welcome to another episode of Driving in the Car with Josh. This is where you get to listen to my thoughts and get into my head on how I am working on becoming a millionaire myself. So first off, how do you become a millionaire? I think we can all agree that that's the American dream to some extent. If not just the American dream, also the dream of the West and maybe even the whole world. Everyone wants to be rich. Everyone wants to not have to rely on a job. To be honest, I think anyone who has the drive to become a millionaire themselves probably won't stop working anyway. For the majority of millionaires, it's gonna just take hard work to get there. As I mentioned in a previous video, I'm gonna have it pop up right over here. Creating assets that generate income for you, it's a tedious process. It's gonna take a lot of hard work. I guess the short answer that I'm gonna say is to become a millionaire, you just have to work hard. But on top of working hard, you also have to be smart about the money that you're making by working hard. So what do I mean by that? The average person will earn money and then spend the money that they earn. This is why a lot of people think that the American dream is not attainable. It's really hard to invest in things if you're just spending all of the money you make. There are definitely income levels where that is what the reality of life is. It sucks. I've been there, especially if you are under a crushing amount of student loan debt or other debts. Maybe you just had an irresponsible few years with your credit cards. That can really put you behind the 8 ball there. Here's the thing. I mean, in theory, you are making enough money with your day job that you're able to cover your bills and your living expenses. It's really easy for a lot of people to just fall in the mindset of, hey, I have this much money I make. This is how much I have to spend every month just to live. I need the exact amount of money that I make in order to live, so I'm never gonna actually obtain the American dream. America is a meritocracy. So you make as much as you're putting in the effort for. And if you're working at a place that's not paying you enough for the effort you're putting in, you're free to go find somewhere else to work. Not only that, but there's 24 hours in the day. You should be sleeping about 8 of those hours. Your full-time job would be another 8 hours. That gives you another 8 hours in your day to try and make some headway. And you'd be surprised how much headway you can make with just 2 or 3 hours a day. This leads me into talking about how the rich use their money. So what the rich do is they take the money that they earn and then they buy assets with it, something like real estate, stocks, something that's gonna generate income for them, and then they live off of the money that's generated by their assets. So you have regular people or poor people or just the common folk who go from here to here with their money, but what the rich do is they go from here to here to here to here. So what I mean is they go from money that they've made. So the previous one is money they've made, bills they have to pay, and buying stuff. What the rich do is they go money they've made, asset that they've purchased, income from that asset goes here, and then that goes to pay their bills. So what do you do if you're in a situation where you're not making enough money to actually put money towards assets? Well, I think a lot of Americans are in that situation right now. You see, if you have just a regular job and that's your only source of income, they're only gonna pay you enough to barely cover your bills. You know, just enough to live every day. So it's that extra time that you put in outside of your day job that's gonna increase your income levels where you can start buying assets. One thing you could do is you could just talk to your employer and ask if you can be the new cleaning crew and you can clean after hours and then you can bill them for it. I've advocated for this quite a bit. You can do Uber Eats, DoorDash. Those are things you can start right now. If you have some runway and your bills are all covered, you've got your debts paid off, you can put in extra time to build something that may not generate money right off the bat, but could generate a lot of money on the back end. Once it snowballs and builds things up, like, you know, a YouTube channel, it's one of the side hustles that I'm doing right now. I'm not monetized yet, but one day I will be, hopefully. There's a lot of print-on-demand options out there. There's Redbubble, there's Teespring, there's a few others. You can generate some income that way if you can build up some traffic to your product offerings. There's a lot of ways to make extra money. You can even pick up, yard care and do that on the side. I guess what I'm getting at is, if you're making enough money to cover your day-to-day expenses with your regular job, these side hustles should provide you that extra money that you can turn into assets that will make money for you. In the end, you're not going to be a millionaire if you are only trading your time for money. You have to create some other income streams, and this is how you do it. So in closing, the gist of this conversation is, you're not going to become a millionaire until you can start making money in your sleep, but it's going to take a lot of upfront work. So if financial independence is your goal, essentially what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to hustle until you have enough money to start buying some assets. Then once you have those assets that are generating income for you, whether it's rental income, dividend income, if it's stocks, once you start getting that kind of income, you can start reinvesting that money into more assets that generate more money for you. And you just continue to snowball that until you have enough money coming in from your assets that you can live off of. That's when you've reached financial independence. So the simple steps are, you're going to have to hustle up front, generate some money, then you buy assets that start to generate more money for you. And then I would suggest continuing to hustle while you're building up your assets, because that'll only accelerate the process. But set aside the money from your assets and your hustles to buy more assets. So buy more assets with the assets until you reach financial independence. And that, my friends, is how you become a millionaire. At least that's my plan. If you have any other tidbits, feel free to leave them in the comment below. All right, guys, that's it for today. That is my plan. That's exactly the steps that I'm going for. I know it's pretty high level, but I hope it gives you an idea of things. A lot of the concepts I talk about come from the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I'll leave a link in the description below to both the audiobook and the physical copy. If you haven't read that book will completely change the way that you look at money. I highly recommend it. Other than that, there's a few other useful links in the description, including a link to Audible. You could get Rich Dad, Poor Dad for free with that link. That being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you next time. Peace.